Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and today, I guess we're getting jazz music a lot. Alright, so today we are going to be doing a build for the Cleric class. A class of Divine Caster that actually gets quite a bit of this. Increases healing received and critical heal is nothing special. But we will start with Jade's Chakra Locket. So, Clerics, what they bring to the table is that they are... they tend to be the ones that have lots of holy magic, lots of support and defensive spells, things along that nature. And the magic that they get is pretty interesting. Things along the lines of summoning lightning bolts, performing big strikes of flame, obviously holy spells, which, I mean, it's hard to really do holy magic here in Wizard of Legend, but, you know, just because we don't necessarily have access to holy magic doesn't mean that we can't emulate the effects of some of these spells. Though, one of the best spells or one of the best cantrips, at least in D&D 5e, is something along the lines of just a bolt of holy light that you can use to mark enemies. I don't think there's quite anything like that in this game. Not that marks, anyway. I think the closest things to it would be like Volt Disc or Perforating Jet. Actually, because Clerics tend to have access to defensive magic, and they also have the ability to wear heavy armor on top of that, I'm going to use that as an excuse to do Air Spinner. I might come back and change Blazing Lariat, but let's go for a dash. And the best dash I can think of is Wavefront. At least for... Well, hold on, let me look at this again. Bubble Blast, Frostwing. So, you could also take Frostwing, as that's kind of a... Not only is it very defensive in nature, but when you're dashing, it looks a little bit like Angel Wings. But that's also mitigated. It's also somewhat mitigated by the idea that you've got like a bird tail when you do that. So do I go with that or do I go with Wavefront? Honest to goodness, probably going to go with Frostwing. That to me seems like the best choice, partially because I don't want to overdo Wavefront. And partially because it's the thing that I can think of that best goes along with a class like this. There's other things that are very aggressive, but some of the best just purely defensive ones, you know, Razor Burst, Thunderline, I already use those a lot, so I kind of like the idea of using something different. Now, as far as signatures go, some of the ideas that I was thinking would be like, Thunder Drop is okay for this. It doesn't quite get to what I want across, but it's there. Radiant Beat, because that's kind of like striking with a Holy Smite. That could be a good one. Same thing with Dragon Circuit. And then if I look at Fire, Blazing Lariat is kind of like enhancing your weapon with a flame blade, and I like that idea, especially since it hits 360. Raging Inferno is a maybe, but I'm not sure if that quite qualifies as a straight up flame strike. And then Crashing Meteor I kind of like, because that's like the idea of summoning divine wrath from the heavens. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's what I want to use for this character, because I don't have a lot of stuff that stuns enemies. So, for my money, it's between... I'm thinking Raging Inferno and Crashing Meteor. Do I have a coin nearby? Of course I wouldn't. Oh, no, I do. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip a coin. Heads will do Crashing Meteor, tails will do Raging Inferno. Alright, live coin toss. Heads. I guess we're going Crashing Meteor. Alright. Oh, and look at that. We get to immediately start with this. That makes me a happy boy. Is there any particular place that I want to start? I'm gonna say no and see what happens. Okay, Atlas ends up being in spot number 2. You know what? I can handle that. Alright, obviously I took a very defensive start. Yeah, that's what you get for defying my god. Also, big shield smash. I'm between... I suppose between fighters and clerics being your heavily armored ones, this makes sense. And honestly, I kind of like that idea anyway, just using a shield to bludgeon and smash enemies with your divine righteousness. Oh, clerics. And I'm not gonna lie, cleric is, in D&D at least, one of my least used classes. But it's not because of an inherent dislike of the class or anything, it's just normally I suppose it would be fair to say that I am what one would call a power gamer. And the classes that typically work out best for a bloke like me... Hold on. Yeah! Scatter like the infidels that you are. I don't want that. But yeah, the classes that tend to work out best for a guy like me tend to be like along the lines of fighter, rogue, or wizard. Okay, so who is our red portal? It's the Doctor. So I don't want to give up Thundering Chain, and I don't know if she's going to take Aegis Charge or not, or Aegis, however you want to pronounce it. I've had people make fun of me for pronouncing it with the classical pronunciation that the Greeks would pronounce it with, but I don't know, how do you guys pronounce that? Like, it's not really that big a deal, but because I've had people make fun of me for it before, it makes me a little self-conscious. Hey, we definitely take this. We definitely take this because that's going to make our cooldown that much faster. I want to give Dr. Song an Arcana, but I don't want her to take Thundering Chain. I might just have to forget that I saw Dr. Song, even though I think her relics are overall very helpful. Divine wrath of the heavens falls upon ye! Ye shall not forsake my divine might! See? Told you. Kind of a shame that Dr. Song showed up this early when I have so little control over my build. I mean, I could just take a chance, but you guys know me, that's not usually in my nature. Who are my enemies again? You know what? Yeah. So there are indeed clerical spells that allow you to do things like conjure tornadoes and, you know, change weather. And you normally think of it as a druid thing, but in earlier editions of D&D, those are counted as priest spells. And you know, I think I'm just gonna roll with it. Honestly, it might still be a priest spell in 5th edition. I just haven't read that far in the clerical spells. Like I said, more often than not, I'm playing the classically more damaging caster roles. Or are you gonna die? Thank you. But that's not to say that clerics can't be a damaging force. They absolutely can be. But they are typically thought of as your support and healing characters. But just because that's their classical role doesn't mean that that's the only thing they can do. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up, but let's be fair, I'm not really gonna use it. And some of the priest/cleric classes that are out there also include things like, you know, inquisitors and whatnot. So there being such a thing as a warrior priest definitely paints clerics in a different light. And you know, I see there being nothing wrong with that. Beautiful. Alright, what do we have here? Damage and movement speed is increased while Signature Arcana is fully charged. Yeah, but I like the Signature spell. I don't know, I'll grab that for now, but it's not exactly high up on my priority list to keep. Then we will, of course, upgrade the robe, which will increase the chance of critical heals and increases the healing buff to 30% instead of 20. And I think we will grab Twin Turbines, because frankly that spell is broken. Like, a lot of the game's most powerful builds use Twin Turbines, and it's not hard to see why. And that's a beautiful boss fight. Now, what I would really like to see is a more reliable form of increased damage. Because while the build is just fine from a survivability standpoint, I would like to be able to stomp enemies a little bit harder. Oops. Oh, it lasts a lot longer with the... Alright, since we've got to spend a lot of... We have to spend a lot of time just getting our asses kicked, so I think I'll do that. No thank you. Though with the extra healing, it looks like we didn't even take that much extra damage at all. Tracer Barrage. God, I'm getting so many good freebies. Now, what I would like is something along the lines of... Let's see. Oh, that'll work. Take that. Is something along the lines of the Infinity Marble if I'm going to stick with this. But I would like to not stick with this. Though admittedly it plays well to a clerical build, it is something that requires some patience, and clerics are very good at being patient. So as for the character that I am modeling this after, this is another character that I've already created. I didn't create her alone. She is actually a character that was designed in tandem with a twin. But focusing on this character for right now, her name is Ari. I believe I pronounced... How do you pronounce a spelling? What the hell? One of these days I'll, grow a brain. But her name is Ari, spelled A-R-I. Ooh, just what I asked for. And that would be like a divine aura, so we have to get that. And she is... I had actually originally designed her for a specific D&D campaign, and her story is supposed to be that she is a priestess working for a church that, by all rights, is in cahoots with and working with an evil god. I think I'm actually going to take the Tainted Scroll, and we're going to go hard on this autograph pad thing. But she has been convinced that the god in question is not evil because, you know, religious propaganda. And a lot of the story actually revolved around not just her, but the society that she's a part of just not understanding that this creature that they're worshipping is actually trying to cause harm and bring about catastrophe. So a good chunk of her story is her, you know, coming to terms with what she's learning about the truth of her religion. And it's definitely a story about... Okay, of course, the moment I start talking about something interesting, I start getting my ass kicked. Also, I forgot to go back and get that Lotus Frost Stone. I got so into my storytelling. Okay, I'm getting sick of these guys. Oh, of course, I got my charge and then used it immediately instead of holding on to it for a sec. Why I need that Infinity Marble, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, God damn it, every room is just kicking my ass. Okay, I hate this floor. I hate this floor a lot. And I can't even talk about my character because the moment I do, I just get destroyed. Alright, so I'm gonna try this again, and if I get killed, I'm blaming you. That's right, you. With the candy. Your fault. Alright, so I can actually use Nocturne because both of these spells that he will take are going to be upgraded. But I don't really want any of these, so yeah. So now to continue with what I was saying from earlier, before the game decided it wanted to like step on my face and make an example of me, what this character's entire arc was, and I guess could be is, depending on how I use the character, is she's essentially a character going through a kind of existential religious crisis as she's in this position of she isn't sure what to trust, who to believe, basically any of that. So a lot of her arc is just, trying to understand the truth and the true weight of her situation. Because she is a character that originally fell in with the religion that she did because she wanted to do good for her community. And with the idea that the community, or with the idea that the church that she is a part of could potentially be manipulating people for selfish ends, that is something that she's just not prepared to handle. So her entire story is, like I said, about that realization and coming to terms with it. Let's see. We are going to... Yeah, we'll do that, because I still like the idea of having a charging shield. Which I could have considered using when I was getting my butt kicked, but I was panicking. Alright, we'll just use this for crowd clearing. And more crowd clearing. Now, alongside Ari, I did also design a character to be paired with her, which is her twin sister Ari. Ari is a character that I designed to be much more of a realist, and when I say realist, but really it's just that she's a less religious character, but what that means in a fantasy setting like the one that we're using is that she just doesn't spend all of her time, following the religious edicts of any one organized religion. She is of the Fencer class. So, again, kind of going along with that... Kind of going with the idea that her sister is a cleric, she's the much more kind of, I suppose, assertive one, whereas Ari is supposed to be more, maybe not demure, but... Oh, passive, that's the word I'm looking for. Like, not to an incredible degree, not to where it's like, oh, she never makes any decisions, what the hell is she doing? No, it's just that she's a much more passive player. Like, her game is all about patience. I think I'm good. I've got good spells. I'm just gonna stick with this. I might want them cushion flip-flops, though. I hate you guys. Is there anything here that I want to... Yes, there is. I want to give you that. So in the game that I had originally designed for these two characters to show up in, what it was supposed to be is that since we tend to play with a small number of players, they were meant to be kind of your helpful fighter and healer options in the beginning of the game, and then as the story went on, it would start to like, they would start to have maybe not like a huge role in the story, but their role in the story would start to become more evident. As the second half of the story is very heavily about this church of the evil god. I don't even know which god it was going to be at the time. I designed these characters a while ago. But I still remember them fondly because they are characters that I had put a lot of time and effort into. And there's a good chance that they'll make their way back into a game at some point in the near future. Oh, I kind of wanted to hold on to my signature a little bit so that I would have that, like, extra 20% damage. There we go, and we're back. Which I suppose means coming up in the near future I'll end up doing the Fencer class just to give the other sister her time in the limelight. Oh, that was smooth. Good job, controller. And yes, I just realized that I have a bit of a synergy going on with Jade's Jeweled Crown and this. And the autograph ad. And all the other things that I have that are boosting my signature charge. So I'm hoping to be able to use these two characters in an upcoming game at some point or another, because as I was looking through my character sheets, just reminding myself of old characters, I came across their character sheets, and immediately said, "Oh yeah, they had a really interesting arc that I wanted to." Put into a game because they're interesting characters. And for what it's worth, no, Ari is not the strike them down with holy might cleric. She's more the I just want to help people and be a force for good in this world cleric. So, I guess she's more your typical, like, Final Fantasy white mage. Which makes sense, because the white mage, it actually is the cleric class, essentially, put into Final Fantasy terms. Like, I find it's a little embarrassing to think that for a while I was in denial about that. I was like, no, mages and clerics are two different things. No, they're not. Like, even in the original Final Fantasy Tactics, instead of white mages, they're called clerics. So that was one of them. That's a good example of me being a dummy. I better just use it. Alright, our clerical lass has found her way to the end. And also, I must say that we came back from low health pretty nicely. And then we shielded a macho ghoul. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I just muscle memoried that shit. Oh, hold on. And I know what you guys are thinking, but I'm sorry, I have to help the fairy. Remember, Ari sees herself as a force for good in the world, so she wants to help as many people as she can. And before you even get into it, yes, fairies are people. If you disagree with me on that, I will fight you. Yeah, that could have worked out better, but got the job done, I guess. And there we go. Stricken down by my holy might. Now I want you to go back to those people that you were bullying and say that you're sorry. Yeah, sorry. I don't think Ari is not the sort of person that would just go up to someone and be like, "Oh, look how tough I am." She'd be like, "Serves you right for acting like such a bully." Yeah, I really want to use her and her sister Myri in a game again. So I look forward to telling you about how those two do in the near future. Might be a while because I'm currently running a Monster Hunter style campaign for my friends, but you know, maybe in the near future I'll get the chance to regale you with the tales of Myri and Ari. Could be a lot of fun, and they are characters that are they are characters that mean a lot to me, as they were like, I didn't say this earlier and I don't know why, but they were originally based around the arc of a couple of characters in Breath of Fire 2. And it's the same kind of thing where there's this church that's been helping you the entire game, but suddenly it gets revealed that, well, I guess they haven't been helping you, they've just been in the background. But then at the end of the game, they're revealed to be the force of an evil death god who's using their, essentially, like, I don't want to go over all the beats of Breath of Fire 2. I mean, yeah, the game is old, but I would still consider it spoiler content, so you know it's Breath of Fire 2, so if you want, go look it up, or by all means, just play the game yourself. It's on Switch's like SNES Online, so it's easy to spot right now. Just go play Breath of Fire 2. That game is fantastic. But yeah, that's all for me for right now, so thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate your continued support and you wanting to come and spend your free time here with me. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. Ari bless you, and I will see you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.